As you can see, I've been doing a bit of painting. My Pearl Jam T-shirt my mate gave to me to paint in. I I have a few questions around the nature of some things that I've actually learnt and discovered it myself around the ideas of ancient texts, the biblical texts, especially the Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament, in regards to and also the myths and legends coming out of I call them myths and legends, but they're more like historical facts in my perception now around the ideas of the firmament and the idea that the earth is flat, which is for some people is a comedy. The whole idea the earth's flat is ridiculous. It's a sphere because of the nature of what we've been told, but without any empirical evidence. Who's been into space to see if the Earth is flat or if it's actually a sphere? I haven't been into space. I can't tell you that. I have remote viewed, and I have had out of body experiences due to CE5 work and with shamanic dreaming, but I've never, in my perceptions, how much of what I'm seeing in regards to a spherical Earth, how much of that is actually a projection of my imagination, and how much of that is really the truth. So I have a bunch of questions around the nature of what I've learned about, especially from people like conspiracy music guru. Welcome to the satellite host. That guy, Alex Michael, who is an interesting character, and I love his work. The Safagio is amazing. His other work around conspiracy theory music, guru work is also fantastic as well. But also around the work of Gigi Young and other mystics as well, who talk about the Earth as being a sphere and there being a solar system and being planet and there being planets. But I have also listened to people like Crow 777 Radio, and I have more questions now than I have answers. I am not settled on an answer because I don't have an answer, and I don't have beliefs around the world being flat or round. I'm just full of questions, and I'm more curious than anything else. And one thing that came to mind in regards to what Gigi Young was saying, especially when she was talking about the nature of extraterrestrials, and I have to wonder about my own connection to the Pleiadians when I ask this question, because I'm actually more curious now than I have been for a long time around this question. And the question for me around the nature of the Pleiadians now is that the beings I've interacted with that I consider to be Pleiadians, are they actually interdimensional beings from the Pleiades, which is actually really a star system? Or are those stars luminaries, actually intelligences within the waters above the firmament? Are they intelligences in a plasma or a water, what we call space, is actually water or plasma, and that these luminaries aren't actually flesh and blood extraterrestrials or interdimensionals, but actually esoteric entities that manifest in this dimension as physical beings? Because when they come into this dimension, they take a body on and they manifest as a physical being in this density. Now, if you understand the nature of the Yuga cycles and the ages, the Greek ages or the Yuga cycles, then you understand that in the Golden Age, these beings were around us all the time and interacting with us all the time. They were because of the nature of the light of the sun, which is interesting as well. The lens, the energy of the sun was very different to what it is now in the Kali Yuga, the end of the ascending Kali Yuga cycle in 2024. As we move into the end of the Kali Yuga cycle, according to the calculations of Bibhu Dev Misra, excuse me for getting that wrong. But his calculations being that the March equinox in 2025 is the end of the Kali Yuga cycle, the ascending Kali Yuga cycle, and the age of transition into the Dwapara cycle. But as we move through the cycles of the Yuga cycles, we move through those Yuga cycles, we have more opportunity due to the nature of the light and the energy and the frequency to be able to interact with these non-physical beings who become physical in our dimension and our frequency, right? So my question around the nature of these beings I've been interacting with for over 20 years in my life, some definitely non-physical, some more physical, Is there an esoteric nature for both of those interactions with these beings? And are the Pleiadians that I've been interacting with since I was in my early 20s, and I'm in my 50s now in this avatar, this body, are these beings actually physical in the sense like me here in this physical body, which is not physical at all, but the illusory physical body? Or are they esoteric beings that manifest in this frequency in a physical form and take on a physical form even though they have no physical form? And they're luminaries. They're luminaries. They're just energies encapsulated in a light, in a form, in a crystalline form, in a cymatic form of energy and sound. And then they come to this realm, somehow manage to come through the firmament into our dimension. If there is a firmament, the waters above separating the waters below via the firmament. If you look at the Old Testament and the Hebrew Bible, other texts from the Middle East, Mesopotamia, and North Africa about the nature of the firmament. And we have this dome that separates us and a flat earth. Jury's out for me. I don't know. I've got no idea. I don't pretend to believe anymore. But I'm just saying in regards to this, are these beings actually physical flesh and blood beings, or are they luminaries? Are they energies, esoteric forces, esoteric consciousness that has the ability to come into this frequency band and manifest in a physical form? Or here's another one as well, are they actually Atlanteans? Are the Pleiadians Atlanteans, survivors of Atlantis who live in pockets, dimensional pockets, where the frequency of the end of the Golden Age, what would have been when Atlantis finally fell, it was in the descending Golden Age. So are these beings actually flesh and blood beings that lived in Atlantis at the end of the Golden Age? And at the end of that Golden Age, were they flesh and blood beings? And they went into caverns in the earth, where dimensional pockets of frequency, where they actually were retained or artificially created a frequency to be able to hold in their energy of the descending Golden Age, Satya, Yuga, Treta, and other again, Hindi it's Treta, but in Sanskrit it's Satya. Yuga, maintain that frequency and stay in that frequency in this bubble in the cavern in the earth for a duration of time, and be able to leave that frequency band for a short duration to interact with people in this frequency, and then go back to their frequency, which they're in their cavern, where they are living in that Golden Age, the descending Golden Age energy. And these are these questions that I'm wondering, because I understand the nature of the work of dark journalists, Gigi Young, Dr. Joseph P. Farrell, amongst others, that talk about the potential that maybe these beings that people are interacting with aren't interdimensionals or extraterrestrials at all, but they're in the life cycle of this planetary consciousness, and this life cycle of this realm, whatever it be, a sphere or a flat earth with a dome over it, a firmament over it, and they're in this realm and they can't leave the realm, so they maybe pull a fast one on us to tell us that they're interdimensionals or extraterrestrials, but they're not interdimensionals or extraterrestrials. They're in the life stream of this sphere, of this planet, and they're living in cavernous regions of the Earth's crust in pockets of dimensional frequency band which they've artificially and through technology created these pockets where they can live in these areas. And that Mac Tony's book, the Ultra-Terrestrials, I think it's called the Ultra-Terrestrials, where these beings that live very close to us they're very close in regards to our physical form, but just a little bit different. And they've got a little bit more of a technological edge over us. And these beings have been living in the Earth's caverns, or in the Earth's crust for time immemorial, potentially. I don't know, but they interact with us. The Mac Tony's book is, I think it's called The Other Terrestrials, or Ultra-Terrestrials. It's a very small book. A dark journalist relates to quite a lot. Daniel Lynch relates to quite a lot if you follow his work. But I wonder now, I consider this as an option that maybe the luminaries, if that's the space outside of the firmament is plasma, whether it be water or plasma or both, or something in between. That these beings are not flesh and blood beings, but they're actually luminaries. They're actually a level of consciousness that can take a form. They can take a form, or even possess a physical body of a man or a woman in this dimension and use it like you would like a channel would. Use that body as a means to be able to communicate with people like myself or to you. So many questions around this. I've got no answers, but more questions. And I'm the more I look at the information around the flat Earth and the nature of the firmament, it begins to make sense to me. And I'm not. There's no belief here. I don't believe. My perception is moving and shifting and changing due to the nature of what I'm perceiving and what I'm feeling energetically as well. So I'm more loaded with questions around the nature of my interactions with these beings, because most of my interactions with the Pleiadians have been esoteric, have been very energetic rather than physical, And I wonder if these other beings that I've had interactions with, Nordic beings, for example, are basically the same thing. They're stuck in the life stream of this planet and have been in this life stream from hundreds of millennia, if not millions of years, and are living within the Earth's crust in pockets, dimensional pockets, or have come through, as Gigi Young says, come through the Earth's central sun, which is more esoteric, and come into the life stream through the central sun of our planet. And then by doing that can come into the life stream of the planet itself, and therefore interact with us. Once again, more questions. I would suggest if you're more interested in that idea of the central sun and to know more about that, Gigi Young's work on YouTube, outstanding as a mystic, as a modern day mystic, to look into that more esoteric nature of the mystery school work that she's bringing forward. But I got more questions. The more I listen to people like Crow 777 Radio, Crow himself and Jason Lingram, the more I listen to dark journalists, the more I listen to Gigi Young, the more I listen to other people that have an interaction with Pleiadians or other beings from other levels of existence, the more questions I have around this whole idea, this whole perception of what these beings are and who they are and where they come from. I do know, but as I'm reading the book Kali Yuga, the Yuga Shift book by Bibudev Misra, as I'm reading that book and as I get through the context of it, I begin to understand. I've known this for a while, but I get the greater understanding of this. Is that through the Yuga cycles, through the ages in the Greek context, the ages, Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, in the Kali Yugas, Satya, Dwapara, Kali Yuga, and of course the Silver Ages escape me right now. Treta, I think it's Treta Yoga. Treta. I probably got that one wrong, but the Silver Age. I can't remember the name of the Silver Age, and I think it is Treta Yoga in the Sanskrit text of the Yuga cycles. Forgive me if I got it wrong. But I understand the nature of how these beings can interact with us, and the gods interact with men and women in those ages due to the nature of the frequency of the light coming from the sun is very different to what it is now as we move through these cycles. So therefore they can manifest and spend time with us and interact with us a lot easier than they can in the Kali Yuga cycle, which is what we are experiencing right now. And the light of the sun is very different as it is in the Golden Age, because of actually the frequency the frequencies that are being shared with this realm through the sun in the Yuga cycles, in the ages. Man, amazing stuff, really. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Matewa. I'll see you again soon.